Hey, hello everyone. Hope the mic's okay. Yeah, the mic's on. I just decided to make. I was trying to fall asleep. I couldn't, so said why not do a Wii U nostalgia. I started thinking of doing this, but I figured since I can't fall asleep, why not talk about the Wii U? The Wii U, as many of you probably already know, is a console from 2012. I said console. I, I said like the Midwestern way for a second, but Uh, it's a video game console released in November of 2012 by Nintendo, and it sold decently like around the launch period, but after that, the sales tapered off completely, and it's kind of now like a bit infamous for being one of Nintendo's biggest failures in terms of like console releases. Obviously, it's not this level of Virtual Boy, but unlike the Virtual Boy, this is like one of their mainline consoles and ended up becoming their least selling home console, except for maybe the color TV game. But I don't even know if we have sales data for those. And back that was obviously when the market was much smaller, so the expectations are also a lot smaller. So, what was the main selling point of the Wii U? Well, it was this. Uh, it's got fingerprints all over it, but it was the Wii U gamepad. So essentially, the selling point was that you had a gamepad that has a touchscreen on it, and it could allow you to do things that you wouldn't be able to do normally, like with traditional controllers. One, you could have a second screen that you can use for menus and stuff, which would make it ideal. Like I say, if it's a heavy menu based game, you could just do that instead of having to constantly go into the menu when you're playing a game. But the other thing is that you could actually just play the game on this screen too. So you can have the TV off and just play this. Like say if someone else is using the TV, you just want to play it, just do it like that. And so it kind of reminds you a bit of the Switch, except for the Switch is actually the console itself that's portable, becoming console. So this was actually pretty cool in that respect, that you can still just have the console. I remember when I was at my aunt and uncle's, like what I guess this would have been 2013. I was just playing New Super Mario Bros. U, like while we are in the living room. Sometimes I would just play it. That's how I played a lot of the game actually. So that's the main tablet, but they also had obviously other controller schemes. This was the Wii U Pro Controller. So if you wanted to play the game like a traditional controller, this is what you would use. It's actually got a really good battery life. Apparently, I got this mainly for this video, and maybe if I'm going to play it later. But my aunt and uncle did have a Pro Controller themselves that they would use sometimes. So as you can see, it's different from both the Xbox, Switch, and then also the PlayStation. So the actually I can show it right here. So you see how the PlayStation. This is the PlayStation controller. The analog sticks are under both face button ends and the D-pad. Both the face buttons and the D-pad, not both face buttons. And then the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's more like the Xbox where it's asymmetrical. This one, they made the analog sticks actually above both the D-pad and the face buttons. Actually, the D-pad's really good on this controller. Yeah, I think it might even be better than on the Switch Pro controller. Although this is a lot lighter. Apparently, the battery life's really good on this too, though. But since it's the Wii U, you also have a Wii remote. I'd recommend getting one with. Okay, well, I guess it's not going to autofocus, but I'd recommend having one with the Wii Motion Plus inside because there's some games like Wii Sports Club and probably others that require you to have Wii Motion Plus. I actually really like how this one looks. It's black and stuff. So because of that, of course, you need the sensor bar. So I actually have a portable. I shouldn't say portable. A wireless sensor bar. I did check it works because I'm not playing on my TV because of the way I have my microphone and recording and everything set up. So I can put up there. The problem is you got to be a bit away from it. So and which means I'd have to be further away from my microphone for this to work. And I don't know if I even have any games that really require me to use it. But so let's talk about my experience with the Wii U. So I didn't originally have the Wii U. I actually didn't get it till June of 2015, and by then it was already pretty obvious that it was dead. Like I remember I got it right before E3. Then after E3, I'm like, yeah, it's dead. So I did mainly play at my aunt and uncle's house. The main games I remember playing there were New Super Mario Bros. U, which I said I played that quite a bit. I think I made it to World 5. Like I tried getting, I got all the star coins up to that world. I didn't get past that point though. I never beat the game. And then there was also Wii Sports Club. There was one time we went there. We were there for a week. And we basically played Wii Sports Club the whole week. It was fun. We mainly played bowling. And I guess we played golf as well. I like tennis as well. Baseball I didn't like as much because had to keep switching between the gamepad and the Wii remote, and that just made things a bit awkward. So I guess I can show off my collection. Thing is, I don't got a lot of the heavy hitters because well they're released on the Switch. So start with what is one of the more maligned games on the console. God damn, this is horrible condition. Even though I bought this new, but I had a family member who just tried to tear it up because a little kid tried to tear it up and get the amiibo. So that's why I had to tape it back. But he used Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. You need the amiibo to play the game. That's that. It doesn't even look like it's inside there probably, but yeah, this game was pretty maligned. It wasn't considered to be very good, but this is additional cards. But yeah, so I remember playing this with my sister once or twice, but this was really cheap, like $2 or something. I got it for. Yeah, I just remember getting kind of panned. Okay, so more Wii U games. I thought, Batman, Arkham Asylum Armor Edition. I haven't actually played this, but yeah. So this is actually Arkham City, not Arkham Asylum. I messed it up. So Arkham City actually was on the Wii U despite it being a 2011 game. So this is actually a bit after this. When did this come out? Since 2012, so it's like over a year after the uh, Bayonetta 2, which was probably one of the bigger right, exclusives on the console, and it got released on the Switch later on. But like this was one of the killer apps, especially in 2014. I remember people saying that 2014 wasn't a very strong year for video games. Well, that's because the Wii U had Mario Kart 8, Super Smash. Come on, Kitty, Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and Bayonetta 2, but and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So if you had the Wii U, it actually it's pretty decent. Speaking of which, here's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which like Bayonetta 2 was later on released for the Nintendo Switch. So I guess this version is kind of obsolete now. Here's Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, which is weird because the copy I have, it's not Nintendo Selects, but it's also not like the golden cover. It's just like a regular color. And I don't know when this version came out, but yeah, this is has surprisingly not been re-released on the Switch. So as of now, this is the only HD version of Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. And uh, on that note, here's also the HD version of Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, which came with an amiibo. I think you need the amiibo to unlock some of the features. Yeah, this is another one that's hasn't been released on the Switch yet. I know there were rumors, but hey, so far those have not materialized. So I haven't actually played those games. Maybe one day. Actually, an interesting one. This has also not been released on the Switch. NES Remix Pack. So it's basically just like NES challenges. Like it's kind of interesting. Like it's unique challenges for this game, and I always thought this was pretty cool. I'm surprised this was never released on the Switch. However, it was released on the 3DS's Ultimate NES Remix. So this comes with 1 and 2, which were originally digital releases before a box release. So this Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. This was originally a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game, just Ninja Gaiden 3. Then Nintendo published Razor's Edge, which added additional features, and it's generally considered to be a better version of the game. This was originally a Wii U exclusive, however, it was re-released on the PlayStation 3 and 360 later on, so you don't really need to get it on the Wii U anymore. Was the packing for the Wii U, like the deluxe editions version. This is Nintendo Land, so it's basically like a tech. It kind of reminds me of Wii Sports, so that it's a tech demo, kind of show off the features of the gamepad. It's a decent game for what it is. Actually, so I don't know which games I'm going because I'm not just gonna talk about this. I'm also gonna try to show off some of these games. And here's the breakout success on the Wii U, Splatoon. I never actually. Well, I played this once. I didn't get this till years after the fact when Splatoon 2 was already out for years, and I was like, okay, I never had the original one, so I saw this and I decided to get it. But out of all the Wii U games, this is probably the only one that really broke through and now is a huge franchise. Splatoon 3 was like the fastest selling game ever in Japan, so if I would say there was a success story on the Wii U, it's definitely Splatoon. Okay, but then you have this game, which I wasn't the biggest fan. So it's Star Fox Zero, which also comes with Star Fox Guard. The main thing is the game. Like, I don't like the controls so much on this. I know this game is pretty divisive. I'm one of the people who are not the biggest fan of the way this controls. If I could just play without the camera and motion or whatever, I think it'd be a bit more playable. But they were insistent on using the Wii U's features, and this is actually my platinum. But yeah, it's an alright game. Star Fox Guard is an alright too, I guess. But this is one of my most played Wii U games. Super Mario 3D World. I actually beat the first 8 worlds, but I never beat the Star Worlds. So, and the thing is, this is on the Switch now too. So if you were to play the game, I would recommend getting the Switch version because it has extra content and features, and yeah, just all around, get that version if you have to choose between the two. But this, I had a lot of fun with my time. And then this was also pretty successful. But the Super Mario Maker, this was a fun game, and basically you could just make your own Mario levels. But I didn't really do that. My sister actually was the one who played this at the time, but she would play other Super Mario, other mid levels online. There's a Super Mario Maker 2 on Switch now, which I guess that didn't sell very well. It sold decent now. Obviously, it's Mario, but I guess it didn't reach Nintendo's expectations. But the original is only on the Wii. Actually, no, it's also on the 3DS. See, that's the thing. Originally, their games were just getting ported to the 3DS to recoup their sales, but then eventually they started porting them to the Switch. There were Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Surprisingly, I didn't get the Wii U for this game. Like, when this game came out, I didn't have a Wii U. I said I didn't have the Wii U until June 2015, which I'm surprised. I thought I would have had a Wii U just to get this game. And also Super Mario 3D World, that was 2013. Like, a Super Mario game and a Super Smash Bros. Game, and for some reason, I just didn't get the Wii U until a bit later on. But yeah, this is a fun game, though. Into All Stars out. So, the thing is that it has some unique stuff to Smash Brothers Ultimate, but the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate might make this. It's not doesn't make it obsolete, but it does make it so. I don't know if I would recommend. Like, if I was going to recommend a Super Smash Bros. Game, it would not be this one. It doesn't have as much uniqueness compared to the other Smash games beforehand, and it even has the same announcer and stuff. Speaking of Switch ports, this also got a Switch port. So Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. I haven't actually played the Switch. I did play a bit of this version, but again, I would recommend the Switch version because it has some extra content and stuff. This game was pretty fun. Actually, I reminded me of Final Fantasy X how you could swap people in and out during battle, and also I remember there was the one guy who was clearly based on Marty Friedman from he would not from Megadeth, but he was in Megadeth. Here's a game that surprisingly has not been ported to the Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles X Cross. I don't know how if it's Xenoblade Cross. I think they probably say Cross, not X. But this is one of the big exclusives that's still only on the Wii U. I don't know why they haven't re-released it yet, but this is a pretty decent game. I only played it once, so I remember just fighting an enemy and getting destroyed. So yeah. Oh, I've got 2 more games. Yoshi's Woolly World. I think I played it once. This was also released on the 3DS. It was like Yoshi and Poochie's Woolly World, something they added some stuff. So this was not ported. They did make Yoshi's Crafted World, but that's obviously a different game. It's not. So I might have to play this someday. But again, there's all the other Yoshi games I played either. Okay, and then the final game I have is Zombie U, and this was like one of the supposed to be one of the killer apps that launched. It was showing how like the Wii was going in a more hardcore direction, and yeah, this was eventually ported onto PlayStation 4 and Xbox One just as Zombie, because they obviously didn't take the Wii U. Which Zombie, I think, was like one of the first games Ubisoft ever made in the early 80s or something like that. And then so this is, I don't know, a sequel to I guess a reboot of that, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, they had like the idea of permadeath. Your character would die, and then you had another character that you'd have to do or not do. I guess you'd have to like get this stuff back. So yeah, that's my Wii U collection. As you can see, there's some notable games I don't have. New Super Mario Brothers U, because I have it on the Switch. I never bought it on the Wii U. Same with Mario Kart 8. I never had it on the Wii U. I bought it on the Switch. There's probably some other Switch games I got too that were on the, like Breath of the Wild. That's probably a big one too. That I think most people associate that game with the Switch though, not the Wii U, even though it was also on the Wii U. So I'm gonna switch now and we'll go to the interface.